Hello, welcome back. This is lecture number 2. I'm going to create exercises 4, 5, and 6. As you know, there are 10 lectures in this series, and I will create a total of 30 different drawings. Each lecture lasts approximately 1 hour. A different lecture is given each week at the same time. If you prefer that these lectures be given at a different time, let me know. So let's get started. What you are looking at on the screen right now are different sizes of formats which require different sizes of paper for printing a drawing. In these lectures, I will be drawing only on A size and B size formats because the objects to be drawn are relatively small. The A size format requires a paper size of 8.5 by 11, and the B size is 11 by 17. Also, before making the drawings, I want to make a few comments about layers, blocks, and scale factor. Every student has to learn about layers because every object has to have a layer. With layers, you can control color, visibility, and whether the layers are on, off, or frozen. And blocks are a useful tool. They're just groups of objects. A sample block might be a table or a chair. You can save the block outside the drawing file with its own designation, and then blocks are inserted into any drawing at any time as often as desired. Scale factor 2 is important. You might want to draw a football field and need a scale of 1 to 100, or a map and need a scale of 1 to 500. You might draw something like a laptop or a piece of furniture, and your scale factor might be 1 to 1 or full or 1/4, and you might want to specify on a drawing different units such as decimal, fractional, or architectural units. With that said, I'll start to create a drawing. The drawing to be created now is exercise 4. I'm going to click on it, and then I'm going to zoom with the window to enlarge the dimensions and the views. Now we'll proceed. I've already set up the split screen as you see. I'll hit escape, and then I'm going to go into model space where we do all the drawing. I'm going to change the layer, make layer 1 current. And the first thing you do is type L, enter, or pick a line anywhere, type 7, enter. Mouse down, 4.75, enter. 7, enter. C to close. And I can pan over here like that. And I'm going to copy these 3 lines. Pick any point. Ortho has to be on. Move it down. Hit escape or enter. Now I'll offset. O, enter. 4.5, enter. Hit escape. F, enter for fillet. Radius 0. I'll clean up this corner and clean up this corner. Next, I'll draw a line from the midpoint here to the midpoint here. Enter. enter to repeat the command, draw another line from the midpoint, I'm selecting it right there, midpoint here to midpoint here, enter. Now I'll type O for offset and 1.5, enter. Move that line up. Enter twice to repeat the command, offset 3, enter. From here up. Then I'm going to copy, CO, enter, this line and move it down. And I can type F, enter for fillet, radius 0, and clean up these intersections. The top and front view of the object are now complete, and I have to dimension it. Before I dimension, I'll have to type dim scale, D-I-M-S-C-A-L-E. The default is 1, I want it to be 4, because I want this part of the drawing to plot at 1/4 scale. And it will check out the dimension style. It's 2 places, so that's okay. Now I'll change and make the dimension layer current, and hopefully it'll all come out right. So I'll put a dimension with O snap on from here to here, hit the space bar here to here, and put it there. I can do another dimension here, and another dimension from this point to that one there, and another one from here to here, and so forth. These don't look too good, so I'm going to change them. I'm going to take off the object snap and the ortho. I'll click on that dimension, grab the grip and move it in here like this. Pick a point there. That looks better. And I can do the same with this one. With the grip, grab it and move it where I want to put it, like there. Hit escape. Or I can even center it better, since the O snap is off. So that looks better. With the top and front view completed, I want to go into making the solid. So I click on layer. I'll make the solid layer current. And then I'm going to shrink the drawing down a bit, and I'm going to pan to get it out of the way. I'm going to make the right view drawing active. Z, enter, E, enter, zoom extents, and then I'll zoom in on the drawing to show you what it is we're going to be making. We're going to be making that drawing. I've got to make layer solid current here. It didn't change because I have to activate this. Now it's solid. The first thing I'll do is with a rectangle command, pick 2 points, M, enter, L, enter, and move that to the right. Enter to repeat. No, I don't want to. I want to go to rectangle. Pick these 2 points. M, enter, L, enter. Rectangle command. Pick these 2 points. and then move into southeast isometric, pan, zoom with the window, but I have to know what these dimensions are going to be, so I'll go back to the drawing on the right, Z, enter, E, enter. Make the drawing on the left active again, type EXT, enter. I'll extrude the top piece. That's 4.5 minus 1.5, so that's 3, enter. Repeat the command. Extrude the bottom section, a height of 1.5, and extrude the smaller section, 3 minus 1.5, so to a height of 1.5. Now I'm going to move enter this from that intersection to that intersection. Repeat the command. I'm going to move this from that intersection to that intersection. I'm going to go to Union. I'll make a window, add them all together, enter. And let's see what it looks like. It's okay. I'll Z, enter, E, enter. Switch to top view. Now I want to get the drawing ready for printing, so I'll go into Layout, go to Layer, make viewport layer current, type MV, enter, and make a large window. Repeat the command, make a smaller window. Double click inside the small, southeast isometric, pan and zoom to enlarge the solid. Zoom real time to make it even bigger. Double click outside to get into paper space. Click on the large frame. That's in my way here. Okay. Make this, I want to go down, make to the annotative scale, and make it 1/4. Double click inside, then pan. Looks okay. So double click outside, get into paper space. I'll zoom with the window to see what the solid looks like, and I'll view and orbit it in a continuous orbit. First, I have to double click inside, get into paper space to be able to do that. Then go to View, Orbit, Continuous Orbit, see what it looks like. Everything looks correct, so I'll right click Exit, and I'll zoom Previous. Double click outside, Zoom Extends, Z, enter, E, enter. Go to Layer, make Layer 1 current, freeze viewports, and to all intents and purposes, this drawing is complete. Thank you for watching. This is going to be exercise number 5. First thing I'll do is click on Model button. Then what you have to do is to go to layer, make layer 1 current, and then start to draw. L enter, pick any point on the screen, move the mouse, type 2.125, enter. Move the mouse down, 0.75, enter. To the left, 2.125, enter. C to close. Zoom to enlarge, pan. Then we'll copy, CO enter, these two lines. Ortho has to be on. Pick a point, move it down. I'll draw a line from this endpoint up. Doesn't matter how high. I want to rotate. RO, enter. L, enter. The last thing I drew. I'm going to rotate it from its base point. To go clockwise, it's minus 5,4, enter. I'll draw another line from this point up. Doesn't matter how high. And I'll type RO to rotate. And I first hit escape. RO, enter. Select the line at its base point. To go counterclockwise, it's simply 45, enter. Type F to fill it with a radius 0 and clean up that corner. Now I'll type CO enter and I'll copy these two lines here to make the right side view. Escape or enter. And I'll draw another line. Because when you project the front over, you're going to need that line for the right side view. I'll type O for offset, 0.75, enter. Type F for fillet, have to hit escape. F for fillet, radius 0. Clean up the intersections. Spacebar or enter, clean up the intersections. Now I'm going to move the right side view over a little bit, like that. And we have to also draw a line from here up. Sometimes it helps to work on all three views at the same time. Enter. I want to offset. O, enter. 0.625, enter. This line. Enter twice to offset. 0.25. This line here, this line here. Escape, F enter for fillet, and clean up the intersection, clean up that intersection. We also want to trim, TR enter. Trim from that line and that line, enter. These two lines. This has to be empty. I'll zoom in. And I'm going to break. BR enter. I want to break this line here. F for the first point here. Select the second point there. Zoom previous. So the top view is correct. Now we have to draw or complete the front view. So I'm going to copy, or rather I'll draw a line from here down. And I'll trim TR enter. Trim from these two lines. Enter that and that. Enter. Now we have to complete the right side view. And so we're going to enter, 0.25 enter. Here to here, and move that over that way. Then draw a line from this point here. Then fill it with radius 0, that area. Now we want to change this line because it's supposed to be a hidden line. So I'll select it. Now go here to the Properties toolbar, and I'll put that not on layer 1 but on layer hidden. Here's hidden right here. So it should come out blue, which it does. I'll want to dimension the object, so we go to Layer, make DIM current, OK. The dim scale is 1, which is standard, so we don't have to change it. And I've already here we got 3 places for the decimal. So I have to go to Dimension Style, Modify, Units. Instead of 2 places after the decimal, we'll make it 3 places after the decimal, and we still got the leading 0 suppressed. And I'll close. Now I'll put a dimension from here to here. Also, I'll hit the space bar, go from here to here, hit the space bar, from here to there. Hit the space bar from here to here. Looks like I made a mistake. Should have been 0.625. So I might as well correct it. I'll erase this. And I'll offset. Enter. 0.625. Enter. I'm going to offset this line up to here. Then I'm going to draw a line. I'll draw a line from that new intersection up here. I'll rotate, arrow, enter, this line from that intersection, minus 5,4, enter. That means I have to erase this and trim, TR, enter, from any line, that, and I can erase this line, fillet this area here, match property, because I want everything to be on the right layer. So I want that line to be on layer 1. And I can erase this line and draw a new line from here up. Then trim it. TR, enter, from both ends. And I still have to reuse the match property to get that line on the right layer. So now the drawing is correct and I can continue with dimensioning, hopefully. Put a dimension from here to here. Another dimension. You will remember that if I want to fix that, I'll have to take off Object Snap, take off Ortho, click on it, use the grips to move it down like that. Now then, in order for you to create an angular dimension, you need two lines. So I'm going to draw a line with the O-snap on, ortho on, from this point up here like that. I'll also draw another line, hit the spacebar again, up here like this. And now I'll go to angular dimension, which is here. And you do this counterclockwise. Pick the two lines so you get it the way you want it, like that. Enter to repeat the command. Now I can erase the lines I drew previously. No, I guess not. Undo. So I'll simply break them. From here, break, PR enter. Try it again. Break, PR enter from here to here, and break from here to there. All three views are correct, so now we can proceed to make the solid model. I'll shrink the drawing down, pan it to get it to the lower right corner. Now what I'll do is to, or what you should do is to make the layer solid current. Then you want to get a polyline and trace the perimeter of the polygon. C to close. M, enter, L, enter. And move that with ortho off, up and to the right. You also want to trace over the little right triangle, so you take polygon, M, enter, L, enter, and move the right triangle up as well. And then move into southeast isometric, pan and zoom so as to enlarge the object. We are now going to extrude. EXT, enter. Extrude the polygon, 0.75, enter. Try it again. 0.75, enter. And I want to extrude the triangle. 0.25, enter. I'll go to the 3D rotate command, which is here. Select both objects. Pick the red axis. I want it to go counterclockwise, so it's simply 90, enter. Now I want to move, M, enter. I want to move the small triangular solid from its midpoint of that line to the midpoint of that line. And I'm in a position now to subtract. I can either type subtract or get it from the solid editing. I want to subtract from the big polygon, enter, the triangle block, enter. And we'll look at it to see if it's okay. It looks fine. So I'm going to Z, enter, E, enter, zoom extents. I'll move into the top view. Then I'll hit the layout button, and I'm going to make layer viewports current. I'll type MV for MView and make a big window MV and make a big window like that. Enter. Make a smaller window like that. Double click inside the small one. Go to Southeast Isometric. Pan. Zoom with the window. Or zoom with real time and pan. Double click outside the viewport to get back into paper space. Now I'll click on the large rectangle and I'll go to Annotation Scale and set the scale at 1:1. It got bigger. Double click inside. Now I have to pan, not zoom, but pan to make it look right. It looks okay, so I'll double click outside. Now I'll zoom with the window so that we can see the solid better. I can double click inside it, and just to check it out, I'm going to go to View, Orbit, Continuous Orbit, give it a little push. Everything about the drawing looks okay, so I'll right click and exit, and I'll zoom previous. Then I'll zoom previous again. Now I'll redo that. I'll undo that. I'll double click outside viewport. Now I can zoom previous. C enter, P enter, either way. Finally, what we want to do is to hide the green viewports. So I'll go to Layer, make Layer 1 current, freeze the viewport, and the drawing is complete. I want to thank you for watching. This is fun doing, and I know you'll have fun doing it too. So I'll proceed to the next exercise. Thank you for watching. This is practice exercise number 6. First thing we do is to click on the left side so as we can make it active. Then I'm going to switch to model space, and I'm going to make sure that we're on that layer 1 is current. Next I'll draw a line, I'll enter anywhere on the screen, it doesn't matter. I can draw it here, to enter, and draw it up here like that. I can also draw another line to repeat the command from here up, doesn't matter. I'll zoom with the window to enlarge it. I'm going to rotate, RO enter. I'll rotate the line on the left from its base point counterclockwise, so it's simply 36. Enter. Rotate the line on the right, on the left rather, from its base point minus 36. Enter. F enter for fillet, radius 0, clean up that intersection. Then I'll copy, CO enter, this line here, and I'll move it anywhere. I'll do the top view first. Here. Enter. I'll offset, enter, that line 1.38. 1.38. Enter. I'll draw a line from this intersection up, enter, twice to repeat the command. Draw a line from this end up, like so. Now I'll draw a line from the center up. And then I'll go to fillet. F enter, radius 0, and clean up these intersections. Repeat the command. And also I can trim. TR enter, that line and that line, enter. Now I can offset. Well, I might as well draw the right side view. I'll draw a line from here like that. Then I'll simply copy this line. And I'll draw another line. You can call it construction line. And I'll offset, enter, 0.75, enter, in this direction, enter twice to repeat the command, offset 1.38, enter, from here over to here. Now I'm going to offset, so I just repeat the hit enter twice. 0.75, enter, and this line goes up. I can type F enter for fillet and clean up. Try it again. F enter, hit escape whenever you're in trouble. I can fillet these two, hit the space bar, fillet these two, hit the space bar, etc. And that view looks okay. Now I want to copy this line and bring it over here somewhere. And I can extend, EX, enter, extend to that line, enter, that one, enter. So the front view and the right side view are okay, but the top view is still wrong. So I'm going to enter, 0.75, enter, and bring that down. Then I'm going to draw a line from this intersection here, like that, hit enter twice, like that. And I want to trim, so I'll type TR enter. I'm going to trim what? From this line, enter that. I'm going to trim from this line, enter that and that. I'll type F for fillet, and I'll clean up that intersection. F for fillet, clean up that intersection, and the three views look correct now. I want to proceed to dimension, so I have to go to the layers and make the dimension layer current, and I can start using linear dimension scale is 1:1, so I don't have to change the dim scale. Also, I want to move, M, enter, move these apart. I can always move them back to give me room for dimensioning. So I'll put another dimension from here to here, like that. Another dimension from here to here, like that. far as the angles go, well, you need to have two lines to dimension an angle. So I'll draw one line there, another line here. I'll go to the angular dimension, select these two lines. Try it again. Angle. Here's one line, here's two lines. Like that. Hit the space bar to repeat the command, go counterclockwise. Like that. So the drawing seems to be complete as far as the three views and the dimensions are concerned. Next, you'll want to draw the solid model. So you click on Layers, make Solid Current, use Zoom Real Time to shrink it down, pan over a little bit. I can use the polyline and trace over the triangle. C to close. M, enter, L, enter. Pick it from any point, take ortho off, and move it up here. And the same with the small triangle. I'll use a polyline. I can trace over the triangle, C, enter, M, enter, L, enter. Then I can move into southeast isometric view, and I can pan like that, zoom with a window to enlarge the screen, to enlarge the views. Now I'll type EXT, extrude. I'll extrude the small triangle first, and that's going to be a distance of a height of 0.63. I'll also hit the enter key because I want to extrude the large triangle to a height of 1.38. And I'll go to the 3D rotate command, and I'll select both triangular blocks, pick a point, and I want to rotate them counterclockwise, so it's simply 90, enter. I'll shrink it down so I can see them better. Now I want to move, M, enter. I want to move that small block, enter, from this base point here in the front. Oh, what happened? Escape, undo. I want to move that block from that point to that point. Then I want to subtract from the big block, enter, the small block, enter, and see if it's right, so I'll shade it. It looks okay, so I'll Z, enter, E, enter, move to top view, click on layout button, click on layer button and make layer viewport current, take off full snap, type MV, enter, make a large window, enter, make a smaller window, enter, double click inside the small window, go to southeast isometric, pan and zoom, pan, zoom, and zoom some more with real time. And I can double click outside to get into paper space. I'll click on the large viewport. Scale is 1:1, so I'll go down to annotated scale. Click on 1:1. Double click inside the viewport. Now I can pan. You don't zoom in here or you change the scale. So I can pan. Everything looks okay. So I'll just double click outside. Now I want to zoom a window just around the solid and see what it looks like. So I'll go to View, Orbit, Continuous Orbit. No, it won't work until I double click inside. View, Orbit, Continuous Orbit, and we'll see what it looks like. I went kind of fast, but that's alright. I'll stop it. It looks okay. I'll exit and zoom previous. Double click outside to get back into paper space. Z, enter, E, enter. Everything about this job looks okay now. So I'll go to layer, make layer 1 current, freeze layer viewports to hide the two windows, the green windows. Well, that's it for number 6. I hope you enjoyed it. See you on the next exercise. Thank you for watching. This video will show how to align two objects in 2D. The first thing to do is to make the command line active, type AL, enter, and select the objects. I'll select them with a window. Enter. I'll have to pick the first point, but I need OSNAP to be on. So I'll connect these 2 points. Then I'll connect these 2 points. I'll press enter to end the command. The selected objects are moved from the source point to the destination point, and second and third points, if I specified them, will rotate and tilt the selected objects. In this video, you will learn how to draw an arc by specifying 3 points. I'll pick on the command line to make it active, type A, enter. And I will need a start point. OSNAP is on, so I can pick this point. Then I'll pick a point for the arc, and then the end point. I could do that again by hitting enter or the space bar to repeat the command. Take my first point, second point, and end point. Now we'll see how to use the break command to break an object, whether it be a line, a circle, or an arc. Of course, we'll make the command line active and type BR, enter, which is the alias for break, and we'll select the line, and we're going to take OSNAP off, and what we have to do is pick a point. You don't have to actually touch the line. I can repeat the command and pick another 2 points like that, or whatever. Keep doing it. Either go right to left or left to right, it doesn't matter. This time I'll hit enter or the space bar, and I'll select this line here. I'll type F enter, put the object snap back on, and select my first intersection and then my second intersection, and you see that the line in between has disappeared. Also, we'll take off the object snap, we'll hit the space bar to repeat the command, and we'll try it on the circle. We'll pick 2 points, hit the space bar or enter key, another 2 points. You'll notice that I'm doing it counterclockwise. When you break a circle, you always have to do it counterclockwise. You don't actually have to touch it but get close to it. And that looks reasonably well. In this video, we'll learn how to chamfer objects. I have here a plate and a round shaft. So the first thing I'll do is to type CHA enter, then I'll type D enter, and I'll type 0.25 enter. That establishes one distance. I'll hit enter, that establishes a second distance. Now all I got to do is select 2 lines. Hit enter or the space bar to repeat the command and select another 2 lines. Repeat the command by hitting the space bar or enter key, and then do the last one. As far as the shaft goes, I'm going to type CHA enter again, try it, CHA enter, D enter. This time the distance will be 0.06. Enter, and I'll enter it again because I want it at 45 degrees. So now I'll select the corner, repeat it down there, and again on this side, and again here. And since this is a shaft, and looking at it from the outside, there should be a line here. So I'm going to put a line with object snap on from here to here, enter, repeat the command from here to here. And the drawing looks correct, so we'll move on. In this case, we will learn to draw a circle by specifying a center point and radius or diameter. And so I'm going to type C enter, then I'll type R enter, and with those snap on, pick the left end point, move the mouse. I'll type R enter for the radius and type 0.19, enter. Repeat the command by hitting the enter or space key. Select the other end of the line. Now I'm going to type D enter, and I'll type 0.75 enter, and that looks right. In this case, we're going to copy an object using 2 points. So on the command line, I'll type CO enter. I'll select the circle on the left, enter. A base point, I'll select the quadrant using the object snap, the quadrant, and I'll put that at the end point of the vertical line. Hit escape. Repeat the command. I'll select the circle. I'll pick the quadrant again, but this time I'll pick that left side quadrant, then bring it over here and put it at the end point there, and hit enter or escape to complete the command. And that looks okay. Here in this video, we'll learn how to insert points to mark equal segments. The first thing I want to do is to type PGMODE. The reason for that is I want to make sure I've got a mark here. 0, 1, 2, 3 all have different marks. So I'm going to accept 3 as the mark. Now I'm going to type DIV, enter. I'll select the line, and I'm asked for the number of segments. I'll type 3, enter. I'll repeat the command. I'll select the circle, and they ask for the number of segments, and I'll type 6. So those X's are PD mode 3, and that divides the line. I could draw lines, I could break at those points, and incidentally they're called nodes. These X's are called nodes. So you can break different segments and so forth. I don't think that the erase command requires much explanation. All you have to do is type enter, and you can select individual entities to erase, or you can hit enter and you can type enter with a crossing so that anything you touch can be erased, or you can make a window so anything encompassed by the window will be erased, or you can undo. I think that's enough for the erase command. The extend command is pretty straightforward. I'll type EX, enter to extend. I'll select the circle, enter, and then pick any of these points to extend it to the perimeter of the circle. Repeat the command. I can do it one at a time. I want to extend to that line, enter. Repeat the command. I want to extend to this line, enter, that line, enter. Or you can do it multiple at once. For example, I want to extend to both of those lines, enter, then I can extend it like that. That's all you have to know about extend. The fillet command is extremely useful, and I use it all the time. I'll type F enter, R enter, 0.19 enter, and I'll select these two lines. I'll do it again. F enter, R enter. This time the radius will be 0, enter. This is a command you'll use constantly, because I can make a right angle whether the lines are far apart or whatever. So you want to be sure you learn the fillet command, and that's all there is to it. Here we're going to use the hatch command. I'll type H enter. Dialog box comes up, and I'm asked to select objects. So let's say I select the rectangle, enter, dialog box appears again. I don't wish to make any changes to the scale or whatever, so I'll simply say OK. I'll repeat the command. This time I want to change the direction of the hatch marks, so I'll change the angle from 0 to 90, and I'll pick a point. I'll select objects. I'll select the circle, enter, dialog box appears, you click OK, and that's it. Kind of easy and straightforward. Autocad is not as hard as many people think it is once you get into it. Sometimes it's easier to use the mirror command than to use copy or move. In this case, I'll use mirror. MI, enter. I'll select the number 2 on that side, enter. With O snap on, I'll pick that vertical line. I got to pick 2 points like so, and you hit enter. You notice that the 2 does not invert. And I guess that's it for this video. The move command is also straightforward. Simply type enter, select the circle, go to the intersection there, and drag it to the end point like that. I could mirror that to put the circle on the other end, but instead I'm going to repeat, or I'll use the copy command. So I'm going to copy this, enter, from the quadrant on the left side and drag it over to the other end. Hit enter. And that's that. In this video, we'll offset a circle and a rectangle by specifying a distance. And so on the command line, I'll simply type O, enter, and then I'll type in a distance, 0.1, enter. And I can offset the circle any number of times. And also I can offset the rectangle, in both inside and outside, as you see. Hit escape to clear the command line, and that's that. In this video, we're going to use the petted command to join polylines, lines and arcs into a single polyline. Of course, you have to have a single polyline as shown in red here in order to be able to extrude it in 3 dimensions. So, to begin with, I'm going to activate the command line and type PE, enter. It says select a polyline, so I select a line. I'm asked if I want to turn it into a polyline. I say yes, enter, just hit enter. Then I want to type J, enter, to join. In other words, I want to join to that line, which I just made a polyline, all these other lines. So I select them all and hit enter twice. Now that is a polyline which can be extruded. So it's same with that one. This is also, petted is also useful to create wide polylines. For example, if I was to type PE, enter, and select this line, which is a polyline, I can type W, enter, and specify a new width for all the segments. So I'll type 0.125, enter. Repeat the command, select the second line, W for width, enter, specify a new width, 0.375, enter. Repeat the command, select a polyline. An arc is a polyline. No, it's not. So I guess I have to turn it into a polyline. I'll say yes, enter, and then I'll type W, enter, and specify a width of 0.062, enter. And that's another example of the polyline edit command. In this video, we will create a polar array, and so I'll click the command line to make it active, type AR, enter, Then click on Polar Array and select Objects button, and I'll select the object. Hit Enter. Dialog box appears again. I'll click to pick a center point, which will be at the cross section. The total number of items I'll change to 10. I want the angle to fit to be 360 degrees, and so I'll click OK. In this one, we will create a rectangular array. We'll type AR enter on the command line and select rectangular array. Now we'll want to change the rows to 2 and the columns to 3, and we have to select the objects down here. The dialog box appears again, and we should put in dimensions. The row offset would be 0.48, and the column, no, my mistake, the row offset would be 0.59, and the column offset would be 0.48. Then we'll click OK, and that looks all right. The rotate command is another one that I use quite often. All you got to do is type RO enter. I'll select this line and select the base. I want the line to go clockwise, so it has to be a negative number. So I'll simply type -30, -30. Repeat the command. This time I'll take this vertical line, enter. There's the base point, and I want to do -30 again, -30 again. Then of course I would copy CO enter this line in order to make the before and after the same. We'll learn about putting dimensions on later on, and that's that. The scale command is also pretty straightforward. Just types SC enter, select the object including the dimension, because the dimension will change when you scale it. I'll pick the intersection there, and I'll make it scale it by a factor of 2, enter. And that looks right. I want to drag it down with grips though to improve the appearance. You'll have to take O-snap off to do it right, like that. Hit escape. And that is done for the scale command. Using the trim command is also very helpful. Just type TR enter, and I'll select, say, these 2 vertical lines, enter. So from those lines I can trim that one, and that one. Or I can just type F enter and draw a line. It's a fence. Then automatically all of them will be trimmed at once. Or I can trim, I'll hit escape, repeat the command. I can trim from the circle anything on the outside, like that. Or if I wanted, I could even trim on the inside like this. I'll hit escape and undo that. just so I'll try it one more time, and this time I'll type TR enter. I want to trim from the circle, enter, and I'll use a fence, F enter. So I want to get rid of those lines, enter, trim again, select objects, F for fence, and then just do it backwards like that. And that does it for this grouping of simple basic AutoCAD commands.